To understand the reasons for the invasion, you've got to go back to a 1971 OPEC meeting, at which the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries did decree that from this day forth, wheresoever a barrel of oil is bought or sold anywhere in the world, it may only be bought or sold in US dollars. Mexico, selling oil to China, US dollars. Holland, trading oil futures into Morocco, US dollars, even though the more natural currency for that particular transaction would, of course, be hashish. On the 30th of October, in the year of our Lord 2000, when a switch was made to a single deposit account in the Wall Street branch of unfortunately named French bank BNP, and this was the UN-administered account through which the Iraqis were selling 2.3 million barrels per day under oil for food. And on October 30th, the Iraqis said, we would like to switch this from being a dollar-denominated account to a euro-denominated account. And the UN said, well, we can't stop you, but we got to tell you, you are fools to yourselves, because right now the euro ain't worth but 80 cents. You are going to lose money on every barrel you sell. You may bankrupt your entire country within a year. The Iraqis said, we don't care. We'll take the risk. We cannot bear to touch the enemy's currency. Make the switch. And at the end of 2000, the switch is made from dollars to euros. And then what happens? In 2001, the euro gains 25% against the dollar thanks to strong sales of Moon Safari by air. Thus forcing the Iranians to switch their central bank reserve funds from dollars to euros. Axis of Evil member number 2. December 7, 2002, North Korea declares it's going to do all its commodity trading from now on, not just oil, not in dollars, but in euros. Axis of Evil member number 3. And then Hugo Chavez, re-elected president of Venezuela. Chairmanship of OPEC falls to him. Same year, he convenes an OPEC meeting in Spain in April, and on the table is the proposal that every single petroleum exporting country unilaterally switches from dollars to euros. And that is the Federal Reserve's worst nightmare. Because if that happens, every central bank of every country in the world has to flush all the dollars out of its vaults to buy euros. The international money market becomes glutted with dollars, their value collapses, everyone evacuates, the New York Stock Exchange, and the US is back once again in its nightmare Dust Bowl depression of the 1930s, only this time without a strong trade union busting Nazi Germany to invest in. So, if the countries of the world start buying and selling oil in euros, not dollars, it's the collapse of US capitalism. You got to nip that in the bud, and to stop it catching on, you got to make an example of someone. Therefore, I believe we may begin to imagine the war in Iraq as a very public punishment beating. You have to imagine the world as a Bronx housing project, and the US is the #1 crack-dealing mafia don on the block. Anybody wants to buy rock in this neighborhood, you better come to me. Otherwise, you're going to end up like that fucking guy over there. Take a good look, everybody. And it's right after Operation Desert Fox. Everyone's watching as Iraq comes limping back to his first day at work at the petrol station. And he lifts the drop lock shutters and he gets to the PA system in the forecourt and says, okay, everybody, come to me. I sell rock and they crack to everybody. I don't care. And leaning out of the Andes tower blocks, 3rd floor balcony, Venezuela, Bolivia and Peru are looking down, and Venezuela calls down to America. Compañero, I thought you said you had this neighborhood under control. Hey, don't make me come up there and deal with you. You tried that last week, my friend. You could not get up these stairs. Maybe I come down there to you. You do that. Right now, I got business to take care of. And he always gets his boys, gets the boys on a baseball bats. And they go up to Iraq and they get him by the hair. And they drag him into the arc light of the petrol station forecourt. Okay, everybody, take a good look at this guy. Iran, Syria, you watching? Brazil. Maybe you're thinking about not implementing the IMF austerity package. Take a good look at this guy. See what happens next. wham, and they bloody belabor up, trample him into the dirt, cut off his ears, and when the dust settles, the United States is leaning on his bloody, bespattered, splintered baseball bat, getting his breath back. And Venezuela, meanwhile, has come down to the petrol station forecourt, and is walking around America.
That fight took it out of you, compañero. 10 years ago, you take this guy, you don't even break sweat. This time, I gotta tell you, I don't think you could have taken him at all. If it was not for the help of your little friend.
You mean this bitch? Well, you know, when he says bitch, what he really means, of course. Shut up! Shut up! I got this neighborhood under control. At which point a Hyundai driven by North Korea speeds past. There's to America!
You were saying, compañero, about control? I could not hear because someone was shouting "Death to America" very loudly in my ear. Would you care to repeat for me?
You want a piece of me?
Anytime you like.
Okay, let's go. Let's grab to fight and hear this noise. Hey, look up. Here comes China.
Is there a problem? No problem at all, sir. No problem at all. We owe you $149 billion. Keep buying those dollars to buy oil. No problem at all. A little local difficulty. Everything taken care of. Everything under control.
I just felt I couldn't get all that across on one answer on question time.